There's a reason some men command respect in relationships while others get walked all over. It's not about being controlling, it's not about being difficult, it's about knowing your worth and refusing to compromise on it. High-value men don't negotiate their dignity, they don't beg for basic respect, and they certainly don't tolerate behaviors that drain their peace, their energy, or their self-worth. If you are new here, my name is Amelia Torres, and I welcome you to my YouTube channel, where I talk about relationship, men's dating, and how you can improve your overall personality in order to pursue meaningful relationships. So today I'm breaking down 8 things that high-value men never tolerate in relationships, and if you've been accepting any of these, it's time to wake up and set some boundaries, because the standards you accept are the standards you deserve. Let's get into it. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me which of these 8 resonates with you the most, because understanding what you won't tolerate is the first step to building the relationship you actually deserve. Alright, let's break it down. Number 1, disrespect. This is the foundation of everything. Without respect, there is no relationship. There's just 2 people occupying the same space, and one of them is slowly losing their soul. High-value men understand that respect isn't negotiable. It's not something you earn through grand gestures or constant performance. It's the baseline, the starting point, the minimum requirement for any interaction, let alone a relationship. And when disrespect shows up, whether it's subtle or blatant, they don't ignore it, they address it immediately or they walk away. Now, disrespect comes in many forms. Sometimes it's obvious, name-calling, yelling, insults, public humiliation. But often it's more subtle. It's the eye roll when you're speaking. It's the dismissive tone when you share something important. It's the sarcastic comment disguised as a joke that's really just a way to belittle you in front of others. It's the pattern of interrupting you, talking over you, invalidating your opinions. And here's the thing most men don't realize. If you tolerate disrespect once, you're teaching her that it's acceptable. You're setting the precedent that she can treat you this way without consequences. I'll give you an example. You're at dinner with friends. You're telling a story, something you're genuinely excited about, and she cuts you off mid-sentence to tell her own story. Or worse, she makes a comment like, "Oh, here we go with this story again," and everyone laughs. In that moment, you have a choice. You can laugh it off. Pretend it didn't hurt. Tell yourself she was just joking, or you can address it. Not in an aggressive way, not by embarrassing her back, but calmly later in private. "Hey, when you cut me off and made that comment, it felt disrespectful. I don't talk to you that way, and I expect the same courtesy." That's it, that's the boundary. And if she respects you, she'll apologize and adjust her behavior. But if she dismisses your feelings, gets defensive, or does it again, you have your answer. She doesn't respect you, and a high value and doesn't stay where he's not respected. Number 2, dishonesty. Trust is everything. Without it, you're not building a relationship. You're building a house of cards that will collapse the moment any pressure is applied. High-value men know this. They understand that lies, even small ones, erode the foundation of trust. Dishonesty isn't always about big betrayals. It's not always cheating or hiding money or living a double life. Sometimes it's the small, consistent lies that do the most damage. She says she's going to the gym but goes shopping instead. She tells you she's fine when she's clearly upset. She says she didn't see your text when you know she was on her phone. These might seem minor, but they reveal something deeper. A lack of respect for the truth, a willingness to manipulate to avoid discomfort. High-value men pay attention to patterns. 1 lie might be a mistake, 2 might be a coincidence, but 3? That's a character trait. A high-value man recognizes that and walks away, because he knows that a relationship without trust is a relationship without a future, and he's not wasting his time on something that's destined to fail. Number 3, emotional manipulation. This one's tricky because it's often disguised as vulnerability or emotion. But make no mistake, emotional manipulation is a control tactic, and high-value men see through it immediately. Emotional manipulation looks like this. You bring up a legitimate concern, something she did that hurt you. And instead of addressing it, she starts crying. Now you're comforting her instead of having the conversation you needed to have. That's manipulation. Or she gives you the silent treatment to punish you. You did something she didn't like, and instead of talking about it like an adult, she shuts down completely. Now you're left guessing, apologizing for things you didn't do, just to get her to talk to you again. That's manipulation. Or she threatens to leave every time there's conflict. "Maybe we should just break up" becomes her go-to phrase whenever things get difficult. And because you don't want to lose her, you back down, you compromise your boundaries, you accept behavior you shouldn't accept. That's manipulation. High-value men don't play these games. They recognize manipulation for what it is, a sign of emotional immaturity and a lack of genuine communication skills. And they refuse to participate. When she cries to avoid accountability, he calmly says, "I understand you're upset, but we still need to have this conversation." When she gives the silent treatment, he doesn't chase. He gives her space and continues living his life. When she threatens to leave, he says, "If that's what you want, I respect your decision." And that response, that refusal to be manipulated, either forces her to communicate like an adult or reveals that she's not mature enough for a real relationship. Number 4, lack of accountability. High-value men take responsibility for their actions. When they mess up, they own it, they apologize, they make it right, and they expect the same from their partner. So when a woman refuses to take accountability, when everything is always someone else's fault, when she can never admit she was wrong, that's a massive red flag, and it's something a high-value man will not tolerate. Think about the last argument you had. When it was over, did she take any responsibility? Or was it all your fault? Did she twist the situation to make herself the victim? Did she bring up things from the past to deflect from the current issue? These are signs of someone who lacks accountability, and here's why that's a problem. A relationship requires two people who can admit when they're wrong, learn from their mistakes, and grow together. But if one person is always right, if one person can never be wrong, there's no growth. There's just one person constantly apologizing and adjusting while the other remains unchanged. That's not a partnership, that's emotional servitude. Number 5. One-sided effort. Relationships should be a partnership. Both people contributing, both people investing, both people showing up. But too often, men find themselves doing all the work, planning all the dates, initiating all the conversations, making all the compromises, and the woman. She just shows up and expects to be entertained, catered to, pursued. High-value men don't accept this. They understand that effort should be mutual, and when it's not, they stop giving. Here's a simple test. Stop initiating for a week. Don't text first. Don't plan the next date. Don't ask how her day was. Just pause and see what happens. If she notices and reaches out, if she asks what's wrong, if she makes an effort to connect, then you know she's invested. But if the silence stretches on, if days go by without her reaching out, if she doesn't even notice your absence, you have your answer. She's not investing. She's just along for the ride. And high-value men don't carry passengers. They want partners who meets them halfway. And if she's not willing to do that, she's not the one. Number 6. Lack of support. When you're with someone, you expect them to have your back, to encourage your dreams, to celebrate your wins, to stand by you when things get tough. But some women don't do that. Instead, they minimize your achievements. They downplay your goals. They make you feel small for wanting more, and high-value men will never tolerate that. Support looks like this. You get a promotion at work. She's genuinely excited for you. She celebrates with you. She tells her friends and family because she's proud. Or you tell her about a goal you're working toward, maybe starting a business or getting in shape. And instead of doubting you or pointing out all the reasons it might fail, she says, "I believe in you. How can I help?" That's support. High-value men don't stay in relationships where their partner isn't their biggest cheerleader, so they choose women who lift them up, not tear them down, and if a woman can't do that, she's not worth their time. Number 7. Constant negativity. Some people are just energy vampires. They complain about everything. Nothing is ever good enough. They find problems instead of solutions. They focus on what's wrong instead of what's right, and being around them is exhausting. High-value men recognize this pattern quickly and refuse to tolerate it long-term. Now, everyone has bad days. Everyone goes through hard times, and in those moments, support is important. But there's a difference between someone going through a tough season and someone whose default setting is negativity. If every conversation is a complaint, if every situation is a disaster, if she can never find anything to be grateful for, that's not a phase, that's a mindset, and that mindset will drain you dry if you let it. High-value men protect their energy. They surround themselves with people who inspire them, challenge them, and bring positivity into their lives. So when they encounter chronic negativity, they don't try to fix it. They simply remove themselves from the situation. Number 8. Disrespect of boundaries. Boundaries are non-negotiable for high-value men. They set clear limits on what they will and won't accept. And when those boundaries are crossed, there are consequences. But some women don't respect boundaries. They push, they test, they see how far they can go before you snap. And if you don't enforce your boundaries, they'll keep crossing them until there's nothing left of you. Boundaries look different for everyone. Maybe it's about needing alone time. Maybe it's about keeping certain aspects of your relationship private instead of blasting everything on social media. Whatever your boundaries are, they're valid. And a woman who respects you will honor them. But if she constantly pushes against your boundaries, if she dismisses them as controlling or unreasonable, if she acts like your needs don't matter, that's a clear sign she doesn't respect you. And high-value men don't negotiate on this. So let's recap. High-value men never tolerate disrespect, dishonesty, emotional manipulation, lack of accountability, one-sided effort, lack of support, constant negativity, or disrespect of boundaries. These aren't just deal breakers, they're standards. And when you hold yourself to these standards, when you refuse to accept anything less, you stop attracting women who drain you and start attracting women who add value to your life, because the quality of your relationship is directly tied to the standards you're willing to enforce. So if you've been tolerating any of these 8 things, it's time to make a change. Set the boundary, enforce the consequence. And if she can't respect it, let her go, because you deserve better. And once you start believing that, once you start living like you believe it, everything changes. Alright, that's it for today. If this video resonated with you, smash that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and drop a comment telling me which boundary you're setting today. And remember, the standards you tolerate become the standards you live by, so choose wisely. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at ameliam.torres. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.